Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Wargoyle! Dream Drop Distance. So, yeah. Action scene go now. It's just that unlike Sora, where we had pretty much our pick of the litter by running through here, this time we have to avoid pillars of flame, which is meant to be its indomitable fireballs raining down upon us, and raining down hell upon the gypsy bitches that inhabit the land. But yeah, we're going to be seeing that Wargoyle has a bit more of a connection to Frollo than, well, what Sora would have encountered all the way back in the, the earlier parts of his story. But yeah, it does also paint a bit of an interesting picture as to, well, what potentially happened in the real version of, the Hunchback of Notre Dame outside of the dream world. I mean, the Dream Eaters don't technically exist outside of the dream world, so does this mean that Frollo technically summoned the Heartless? I mean, we did see that he was corrupted by darkness, and we'll in turn see that again, so yes, was his dark obsession truly that? Because, I mean, to kind of go into Frollo's character a little bit, I mean, he is technically a very pious man. You know, he, again, in the film universe, it's meant to be that, he's very religiously charged. He believes he's smiting down anything sinful in the name of his god, as a truly virtuous man would be, so he is entirely convinced that his, beliefs are correct and what he's doing is a good service in the name of his lord. But again, there is also, some skeevier elements. And again, part of this is, cultural things of, 1800s, not exactly going to be matching up with values of 21st century Earth humans as we are today, but, yeah, partially his obsession with, Esmeralda, as I mentioned beforehand in the original story, she was 16, and, I mean, even in that case, even in the Disney version, she's early 20s, the youngest, whereas he's, an old dude. In the original novel, actually, Frollo was actually in his mid-30s, but 16-year-old, still a bit of an awooga abandoned ship. Do not touch, children are our friends. So yeah, let's just say that his darkness runs deep, and that despite his virtues, well, yeah, he is a man that needs to be stopped. Because, again, as the whole point of the Hunchback of Notre Dame is meant to be, things aren't what they appear to be, as we'll be seeing his perspective right here in this cutscene.
Stand aside, Captain Phoebus.
I will not. What have these people done wrong?
I have proof this family gave harbor to gypsies.
That's not a crime.
I can think of few crimes that are greater.
What demon is this?
Oh, you are mistaken, Captain Phoebus. This is no demon. It is righteous judgment. I have been granted this power so that I may smite all gypsies, now and forever.
This is all wrong.
He won't listen. Once you've fallen that far, there's almost no coming back.
How dare you? I am a virtuous man. Good and evil shall be made plain. Once the gypsies face the fires of judgment.
No, you don't!
You alright?
Well, I can't say you didn't warn me.
You should take it easy. I'll deal with Frollo.
Thanks. Gotta tell you, this is embarrassing having to rely on a kid.
You wouldn't be the first. Sorry.
I'll admit, you look more capable than me right now. All right, be careful. It looks like that creature is heading for the cathedral.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, definitely a much more laser-focused and, I suppose a little bit more of a compact story than what Sora had to deal with, which was basically comprised of padding, but anyway, more context.
You've come to Paris in her darkest hour, Captain. It will take a firm hand to save the weak-minded from being so easily misled.
Misled? Sir?
For 20 years, I have been taking care of the gypsies. And yet, for all my success, they have thrived. I believe they have a safe haven within the walls of this very city.
What are we going to do about it, sir?
Stamp them out, one by one.
You make your point quite vividly, sir.
Wowzers. That is one convicted man, but yeah, bear in mind though, it's usually people who think they're absolutely 100% correct that usually end up being some of the more bloodthirsty and, well, indeed some of the more morally corrupt upon us, so yeah, throughout your life it's important to see all sides of people's perspectives, keeping your morals firmly in check and, you know, understanding that not everything is as it seems. But yeah, then again, that is also, you know, the very big perspective of evil. You know, thinking that you're absolutely correct, that your moral victories are the righteous ones, without considering the full context of everything that's going on. So, yeah, a lot to understand, a lot to learn, and, you know, indeed a lot to learn about the perspective or nature of good versus evil. Sometimes it can be a bit clear-cut, other times it's, you know, it's a wee bit, you know, skewed, blinded by morals, blinded by ties. Yeah, and as we can see, Paris is burning, you know, sort of, yeah, to continue talking about Judge Frollo's character, yeah, the Dream Eaters. Now, I guess maybe the fact that they're a little bit more, well, lighthearted in terms of anything else, darker spheres, get to see it again. But anyway, I guess the fact that maybe, you know, because of the fact that, you know, the Dream Eaters are a little bit more colourful in nature, maybe Frollo doesn't really see them as that sinful compared to, you know, say the Heartless or Nobodies. Or, I mean, then again, they do also have markings and, you know, very un-Christian-like symbolism about them, so who knows really. I guess maybe, you know, if the whole hint towards, you know, that Gargoyle snarling at him in Sora's story was anything to go by, maybe there's the idea that, you know, Frollo himself might perhaps be seeing these things as, creatures aided to him by God, you know, righteous beings there to smite down the infidels, for lack of a better phrase, but, quite curious. I mean, it does also make me wonder, like, if he was the linchpin that was responsible for darkness flooding, you know, the Notre Dame world, or maybe if it was Quasimodo and his insecurities. I mean, the implication seems to be that it was Frollo that plunged the world into darkness with his hatred of gypsies and his attempts to destroy them, you know, causing darkness to flood throughout the worlds, but I don't know. It might be something worth exploring with, well, I mean, I was going to say with Union Cross, but that's already finished now. I guess potentially maybe Missing Link? I don't know, that might be something. I mean, I think it does seem to be tackling, like, a lot of the regular Disney worlds that we see in-game, as opposed to Kingdom Hearts 4, which, well, who knows what it's going to be tackling exactly. I guess we'll just have to wait and see until we get another trailer, or I don't know, we get, like, a World Revelation list. But I don't think that'll probably be a thing until possibly next year, 2026 is the earliest. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see in Kingdom Hearts 4. In the meantime, however, I guess I might as well talk about a, you know, question. As we use our faith line to reach out and touch faith, is, well, one question I did actually want to bring up as to why in Kingdom Hearts 1, Maleficent didn't recruit Frollo for the Disney League of Evil that she had. Because, I mean, thinking about it, like, I mean, he holds a position of power, he seems to have, you know, righteous fury, he seems to be very much one, you know, who'd be willingly going along with Maleficent and her darkness if she, you know, pretty much gave him the whole terror spiel of like, ah yes, you can trust me, I'm your friend. We must eliminate all the evil, quote-unquote, gypsies, by which I mean take over the worlds or whatever. Yeah, but I don't know, I guess, you know, either the obvious Satan imagery wouldn't have flown with, you know, Frollo compared to Terra, as we saw in Birth by Sleep. Or I guess maybe that, you know, since both of them are rather regal beings, that they probably would have, you know, been vying for power or wanted to destroy each other before, you know, they screwed each other over under the guise of their religious dogma. Or I suppose in Maleficent's case, just pure greed and lust for power. Because, I mean, I don't know, to me it kind of seems like that Frollo would have been, well, I mean, at least from a, you know, a commander perspective, would have been a more reliable ally than, you know, Spooky Boogie or whatever from Halloween Town, so yeah, it just strikes me as a wee bit odd. In any case, though, yeah, not really too much else to say. I mean, I guess I do have one bit of trivia that I probably should have mentioned beforehand, and we are going to be seeing it again, but, yeah, it's really to do with, you know, the Cathedral Notre Dame itself, actually. And, you might have noticed in Sora's story, it was actually on, well, There were flames going all about, mainly because of the, you know, the pyre that we're using to burn Esmeralda, but yeah. Technically, since the city's currently on fire, you might also remember in 2019 how the real Notre Dame itself actually burned down. So, yeah, that's a bit of Kingdom Hearts predicting the future. And how fitting for a game that features fucking time travel. I mean, it's incredibly tragic that a historic landmark burnt down. I'm not really too sure on the details here, but have they gone into a bit of a restoration effort? I seem to remember hearing something about that, but it's been a while since I last checked the news about that whole thing. But either way, kind of tragic that a historical landmark indeed did wind up burning down. But I mean, then again, I suppose that's sort of the fate of a lot of historical buildings that aren't really being preserved, you know, under historical. I mean, even in the Middle East itself, like, I mean, there was, not necessarily the Middle East, I was actually thinking of West Africa, with one of the cities in Mauritania, actually. You know, an entire city that's being buried underneath sand because of climate change and global warming. And, yeah, that's quite tragic. A lot of history lost, a lot of ancient buildings, and, you know, bearing in mind that, you know, it was one of the strongest centers of Arabic learning, you know, in the entire world, and for a lot of people that were well-read, so, yeah, history's disappearing before our eyes, and that's, yeah, that's, quite tragic, really. So, to kind of distract myself from the pain of seeing history before our eyes melt, here's history before our eyes burning to death.
Is she going to be alright?
I'm fine. Thanks to Quasimodo.
Quasimodo, where did the creature go?
It's up there.
Right.
Wait. Wait, I'll go with you.
Thanks, but stay with her. Quasimodo, did your heart have the answer? Well, I guess you three got this covered.
It was a walk in the park.
How would you know? You don't have any legs.
Yeah, but... Oh, give me a break. It's just a figure of speech.
Both of you pipe down and get ready, because here comes some more.
Yeehaw!
It's up there.
Yes, let it burn. The flames will consume everything. You see? This is the power that has been granted to me.
I see a sad old man with a dark heart.
Again, you are wrong. Now you will be judged, just like the rest. Judgment is mine!
You're Ansem! Why are you here?
Your best friend is never far. So sad. The cost of yielding to the darkness.
You could write a book about that.
But I embrace the darkness. And unless you hurry up and learn to do the same, your story will end just like his.
I walk the road to dawn.
Still afraid of the dark, I see.
Wait! He thinks I'm afraid of the dark? No. Not while I have the Keyblade. It will guide me to the light!
So, now we have another battle with Wargoyle, but before we get into the nitty-gritty details of that, I just want to point out, actually, I don't know if I'm just seeing things here, but I swear to God Ansem's face was given a bit of a redesign in Dream Drop Distance to better resemble Terra, which, I mean, obviously does make a bit more sense, given the fact that the Guardian is Terra, and, you know, we did see that in Birth by Sleep, but, I don't know. Kind of interesting, really. But anyway, let's take out this flame with water surfing. Air surfing, dude! Which is pretty much the only change between this and Sora's battle, because since flames are all abound in Paris at the moment, yeah, Riku's pretty much flying all about, so yeah, he can technically glide above all this. Thank heavens, because otherwise, well, Riku would be feeling pretty hot. Though, I mean, after all, he is a sexy guy. And I use Reach Out to touch Faith to pretty much damage it by, you know, ziplining all the way up to its head and taking it out that way. And that's pretty much all she wrote. Much easier battle with Riku, but I guess that's because I had the Dream Eaters to help me out, and I guess a bit more of a level playing field compared to Sora. But in the meantime, however, well, cutscene go now. Woohoo!
Master Frollo, he made me live inside the bell tower, but the real walls were the ones I built around my heart. You helped me see that, Riku.
I was speaking from personal experience.
I'd say you still keep a lot locked inside.
We all do that sometimes. There are just some things we need to keep separate from the world at large. At least until we have time to figure them out.
I know the road my heart walks.
And so, that was, the City de la Cloches. Pretty fun world, I had a really good time there, and while I kind of had to sort of, you know, come up with a bit of commentary on the fly, overall, yeah, one of my favourite levels in Dream Drop Distance, and I believe one of the earliest ones that was actually revealed on a Japanese livestream, so ultimately, nothing but positive things to say, but yeah, I think that's enough for one day. You know, we've been fighting Dream Eaters, having some personal revelations and, you know, closely held secrets. Yeah, I think Riku's deserved a nap in the meantime, so Sora will take the wheel next time, and we're on to our next world, and the third world of the first tier. So on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, and yeah, good night everybody.